Well, here's something we're trying new. A bit of a impost, but still kind of live as far as we're concerned. Commentary.
Guys, they're making Resident Evil 7 too much horror, 0 out of 10.
Who cares?
We'll probably look at that thing another time. Basically, audience,
We're not here
time
for
got
that.
hurt.
We are not here.
Basically,
I am not
audience,
here.
We're focusing on a lot more this year's E3. We didn't have time to look at everything live because some stuff showed up at the wrong
Schedule.
time, or some stuff just got merged here and there or overlapped.
You see, audience, we are not actually here. You're not listening to this commentary.
No.
So yeah, Ace Attorney 6 not only got its own booth, but it's got nearly 2 hours of footage dedicated to it. Here is day one, featuring that guy from Capcom Community, Janet Sue, and Ishiro, the manager of the Ace Attorney series, and Yamazaki himself.
Who's Yamazaki again? Is it the one on the far right?
He's the director.
No, he's the one in between Janet Sue and Ishiro.
Ah, okay then.
I'm still baffled that Capcom Unity is still some kind of, relevance in the gaming industry in general. Like,
Capcom Unity may actually be the reason we ever got dual destinies over here. Thanks to some guy called Sven, from what I've heard, who sadly doesn't seem to be around.
Java, I've been browsing on the fucking forum since 2010, and these recent months it's deader than ever. I'm still baffled. There's still someone left.
Well, it's apparently very alive from the Ace Attorney section from what I'm seeing. In fact, they actually took
Well,
quite a few questions
if they're having their own E3 thing, I'm guessing they're technically still relevant.
Oh,
yeah, especially
whatever.
since they apparently took in questions, which some of them get answered in day 2. For now, we're talking about the game and seeing it in action.
Meanwhile,
And also, hey, they're using like the biggest annual event in gaming to promote this game. So
meanwhile, either Yamazaki is getting a bit distracted or is having a hard time playing his own game.
My God, look at the bags under Yamazaki's eyes. I mean,
Okay,
I've heard
what's
this.
up with all these fucking Japanese developers not getting their fucking sleep?
I know. look at the guy on the okay. Yamazaki actually looks like he's fine, but the guy on the far right, he also has Eno eyes.
he looks like he's gonna fall off his chair.
I mean,
Yamazaki.
like I said yesterday to Teo, Tabata himself said that throughout the entire development of Final Fantasy 15, he has only slept 3 hours per day. How the hell are these Japanese developers still alive?
Yamazaki has a special tale about that, actually. He was actually planning to give up, leave after, doing a good job with Dual Destinies. But when he saw how many fans over in the West appreciated the localization and stuff, he actually came back and has been pulling through big time for Ace Attorney 6.
Teo, I just realized, Teo, why they do this. Emotional manipulation. They make it so that we know that they barely get any sleep, so we feel sorry for them, and then we get less forgiving on the. Okay.
We have to buy their games so their hard work pays off.
Like you see, Teo, if you come out and say Final Fantasy 15 sucks balls, Tabata will get sad, and it's going to be those droopy eyes combined with tears, and it's going to break your heart and make you feel like a horrible person. These brilliant people.
So yeah, one thing that's cool is basically translating for Yamazaki and Ishiro is who better than the localizer herself, Janet Sue.
So, if I'm not mistaken, Janet Sue has been with localization team of Ace Attorney since the very beginning, right?
Phoenix Wright's design.
Yeah, but she only took charge of it by the second game.
Yeah, if I recall, didn't you guys say that at least the first game was handled by Ted Woolsey team?
Not quite the
Shall we do the voices, or?
Yes, we'll do the voices.
Okay,
foreign lawyer, let me make this crystal clear to you. We have no need for defense attorneys here in the kingdom of Kh'urain. All of our verdicts are guided by a royal priestess, her benevolence, Princess Royale, her divination seashells, whatever.
Just let a bird be handed down if nobody's standing in Albi's corner. If Albi doesn't have a defense attorney, then I'll do it. I'll be his attorney. Okay, here's the trick, guy. When
Very
Janet
well.
is talking, we'll try and be quiet, hear answers.
He's a
But
little
when,
open.
Yamazaki or
I
Shiro
will
are
allow
talking,
it.
they can talk.
Oh, you're
Also, by
prepared.
the way, just Oh, sorry.
What is it, Shiro?
Just so y'all know, with the way he's playing this, I can read this. So just so y'all know.
So,
Okay.
Oh, Keen.
Am I still paying?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. Oh, sweet year.
So, do you want to, read some, Shiro?
Oh, if there's a character that comes up, then yeah, sure.
Character, she's the.
Alright then. The problem is that they
Hey,
don't,
Shiro, you okay?
the problem is that they don't move all that slowly, so it's probably gonna be a problem, but whatever.
Princess of the Kingdom of Kh'urain.
So Pedro is ready
A
for.
very familiar
Yeah, I'm
guy
Rafa.
in yellow that Phoenix.
Well, I'm Maya, so I probably should be evil Maya.
I was wondering if you could tell a little bit more about Rafa and this.
Well, then,
Just do
Shiro, you
what?
can
That
be the
defense attorney
boy,
will try and
then.
twist the truth. You can bet on it. What's that defense, devil?
Phoenix, you should be used to this. For the first few years of your life as an attorney, everyone hated your guts.
Now, if you would please give your opening argument once again, Mr. Payne. Certainly, Your Majesty. The accused in charge with is charged with two crimes: larceny and murder. Whatever. Yesterday, the national treasure known as was stolen from the treasure room of Temple. But that's not all. Along with the empty treasure box was the dead body of Mr. Patron. Oh, fuck you! Please allow me to submit an evidence for the victim autopsy report and crime photo. Totally not upgraded.
So I guess I'm going to be voicing the angry crowd.
So, we'll start with Rafa.
Yeah, why not? I always like
It's
voicing.
good to hear that even in
But she's
foreign
also the
villages, the
queen,
citizens are still the one of the
priestess,
Marvel
so we call her the royal
universe.
priestess. She actually is a really important.
Oh, pardon me,
role
I'm
in
not
this,
speaking here since Janet's
game
speaking.
because,
Basically,
in
I guess
Kh'urain,
we
the
can
kingdom
speak when they're
Kh'urain,
speaking in Japanese, but in English, I guess maybe let them talk since this is supposed to be an
communicating
informative
with the
vid.
dead.
Sure,
right?
people have
So
already
they
seen
have
this
these seance
conference by
trials
now.
where, she will
Yes,
actually
but
contact
it's a
the spirit of the dead,
commentary sake.
and
since day 2 also has
that's
some
how they run
stuff
their
like
trial, and
this.
that's
Sure,
how
sure.
they determine their verdicts.
Besides, this
And
stuff is
so,
gonna be in the game
this time she's
in
basically
itself.
going up against
So.
Phoenix
I have one
Wright,
question
but
then,
she
though.
likes to,
Don't tell me what it is, but at some point, well,
the visions that
at
she has
some
produced
point
and
over
her
these
interpretations of it.
days, did they announce the release date for this demo, or?
I have not heard of such, I'm not quite certain.
Okay, so this is just an E3 demo.
Either that or they
Yeah,
maybe
this one,
announce it on day 2.
this divination
Well, Dual
seance
Destiny's
is
a demo, so I'm assuming this one will probably
it's a
have
really
one
key
too.
element to this game.
Oh, no,
this is
I'm
the
sure it will
one.
have one. I was just talking about when.
Also, Jesus, Phoenix, you're even more moody than Edgeworth in that photo on the top left.
Yeah. Treasure box added to the court.
American Phoenix is hardcore.
Alright, let's speak in Japan. Go on.
Your Majesty, whatever. Very well. Accused, you will take the stand.
But you see, Dwebs, this is the holder, more gruffer Phoenix.
Accused, state your name and occupation again if you would.
I'll be your guide, sir. I'm in training to be a monk. Actually, now that I think about it, sure, I may have your voice this boy in the actual game. Do your usual girl sounds like boy
These
voice.
puns are so painful.
Wow, I don't think even in Yokai Watch I've seen a pun that
Our
blatant.
wonderful person in yellow. Longtime viewers of or players of Ace Attorney will know that this is Gasp in Pain. So at the end of Dual Destinies, he's kind of gotten chased out of the prosecutor's office, and so
Don't talk to me.
Wait, Pain
You disgust me.
winds of fate,
So
I
Pain
guess he's
pretty
kind
much
of
got
blown
exiled
into
in this
the kingdom
village.
of Kh'urain. And,
You'll see, Tio.
I guess lucky for him, he's in
Jesus.
Kh'urain where they don't believe
Okay,
in
let me-
lawyers.
Look at that! Look at that
With no
outfit.
lawyers around, he's
Okay,
had
then
like
if Alfie
basically
doesn't
no
trust us,
losses.
then
He
I
just
say just
continues
leave him
win
to
and
die.
win and win.
So I guess now
and
he's
so
royal
he's very
pain.
pleased with
It's
his
not the first
new
time a
position
client
here, and
doesn't
that's
trust
He's
Phoenix.
got his
so-
very golden appearance from that.
So I guess Pain is now royal pain.
Well, what client is going to trust him in this play?
Right, what does the cross-examination
What the hell?
in this game?
Okay.
So here we have like
Witness
the
testimony.
testimony.
The
from
accused
witness.
まあ彼
accounts.
彼もちょっとつい
You have confirmation that Iwadere is doing the music,
1
right?
話のね
Yeah.
になっちゃう。
はい
Alright.
He returns
な
again.
るほど
Oh, yeah.
I'm not allowed to
現地
go
ガイドする
anywhere
人
near
も
the
ね
treasure
いるんです
room.
けど
My guess is
たまたま彼
Iwadere
が
is Yamazaki's
殺
go-to
人事件を
composer at this
して
point.
で
Well,
Yeah.
apparently, yeah, that, and I think Iwadere may be kind of the mainstay composer of Ace Attorney, the main
いや
series
僕
at
に
this
お世
point.
話になってるボフト君が何も弁護されないまま
Dance
有罪になっちゃう
of
ぞ
Devotion.
Well, Iwadere didn't do music for Great Ace Attorney, did he?
ねオブジェクション
Oh, no. I said main series, not spin-offs.
You
Okay.
don't
Or
know.
ストーリー
prequels.
が1話になりますはい
Hi.
So in
You
episode
don't
1,
know
as you
yet.
see, we've got
Well,
really
actually,
cute
yeah,
little
you probably have a
9-year-old
point,
boy.
Paige. I guess
His name is
Iwadere's more with
Obi Urguide.
Yamazaki now.
And that's
So,
of devotion.
Yes, as the punny name entails. He was Phoenix Wright's tour guide originally, in this foreign country. And so, he's on trial here. And, in this country where, as I said earlier, there's no defense attorneys, Phoenix Wright feels kind of like, I owe this
Lyrics.
because he's been nice.
Okay,
and taken
now
around
that's
and things like
just
that.
full
So, he
totalitarian
actually bursts
China
into,
and
the courtroom
politics.
and he's like, hold it, I'm gonna
Okay,
defend
at this
kid.
point, I'm starting to
I can't
wonder
believe
if
that no
Hideo
one's gonna
Kojima
defend
had a
him.
hand in this
So,
because the mixture of seriousness and
that's the
comedy
kind of the
here
gist of the,
seems up his alley.
First episode.
Well, he's a
Right,
fan of the
something
series,
familiar.
as we now know.
Yeah, basically.
Should I refresh
No.
my memory on
出てくる裁判長は日
cross-examination?
本の裁
Hurts?
判長と違うん
Don't
で
do
ね。
it.
No.
And the judge here obviously is
Thank
the
you.
one.
ちょっと
Thank you
で
so
ジェダイ
much.
ヒゲが後輩。
Nah, I'll treat this like
You'll
any
notice
other
his
trial
beard is
back
completely
of
different.
course.
Yeah, good.
Cross-examination.
And here we go with the cross.
I actually really like the Moderato theme.
これUI のデザインも
And yeah, of course, we got the return of the 5 life system from the first
I
game.
don't get it. The Eldar sounded had more sense because it gave
as you can see, like,
sleep
when
ups a
the
different
cross-examination and
meaning
the
in
witness
ways.
testimony came out,
Here is just
the
again
design
just
of
one
the
5
letters
blocks
and
and
how
then
they come
that's
together and
it.
things like that. That's very different
Oh,
from design
it,
that they used
it
for,
eventually comes to a bridge at some point.
No, I know. I
So
mean,
it's,
it seems
you know,
more like a
like
step back than
flavors and
anything.
tastes, and even in the graphics.
Well,
I
it
guess
depends. Well, it
so,
depends.
yeah,
It's still
but-
what they could do is they could have it so that some penalties actually take away 2 icons or free. It depends.
I guess.
That too.
But I do want to ask about the kingdom of I'm gonna mispronounce it again.
You're
Kh'urain.
doing
Oh
It's-
yeah,
now that
fun
I've heard it,
fact.
now I can kinda
Apparently,
figure it out, but,
there's 2 different Kh'urains.
I do want to
And
ask about
actually, this is the
there's, like,
thing
any
even in the
particular
Japanese
inspiration,
version,
especially
since
just
they
because
did
it's,
technically
looks
have
very different
something
from
to
what we've seen in,
differentiate
Ace
it.
Attorney games before,
And that's
so.
why this Kh'urain has an apostrophe in the middle and an H.
Okay.
Hold it! You're not allowed to go near the treasure room. Why is
はい
that?
今
It's a
回
rule of the
なるほど
temple.
が行
They
く国
keep a lot of the
っていうのを
important
考えたんで
things
す
in
け
that
ど
room.
アジア
I'll be right
Like the
back.
founder's orb in particular, only the royal family may lay eyes on
架
it.
空の国
They
です
say that anyone without spiritual power will
そのいろ
instantly
ん
go
なア
blind.
ジアの国の
Calling it right now, that orb's gonna be a Chekhov's gun. I heard you
Yeah.
wouldn't be blinded if you just looked at the outer box. But I've never seen anywhere near the treasure room. I'm too scared. You gotta believe me. Huh, so far no
Also,
sign
what-
of typos.
We
Also,
wanted
what
to,
is he- what is he
we
hacking?
set this
Cushion?
it's completely fictional, by the way. We set
Looks
this
like it, or a
country in,
pack.
the western edge of basically the Far East. So,
Alright.
Western Edge,
like
Far
around
East
the
Asia.
wall.
Hold it.
kind of
Box with a
image.
butterfly
but,
on it.
but the design elements and the different like cultural aspects were basically taken from all different Asian countries. So it's not one particular Asian country. It's not one particular.
It's
Asian
all of them.
motif.
Oh my god.
Huh.
So
there's a lot of different elements from a bunch
so
of
this is
different
like
Asian countries.
this. It kind of reminds me,
Mixed
okay, to a
together
lesser
in
extent, of
Kh'urain.
how Joe Wright solved the whole white tiger lily problem in Pan.
Yeah, only this
While
one's
we're on
more
it, I'll
clever.
just kind of talk a little bit about, for those who aren't familiar with the Ace Attorney games already, this is the cross-examination portion, as already mentioned a little bit. So it's not necessarily, obviously, you're defending Elby, but you're also kind of grilling him in this case. But it's kind of
Twilight
trying to
Realm.
get the
Twilight
truth out of him
Realm.
more than anything. I think is the big thing to keep in mind. Like it says, Phoenix doesn't think he
Okay.
committed the murder, but he's also trying to figure out why Albie has such a negative reaction
Don't
towards
talk to me.
attorneys.
You're
Huh.
dead to me.
For once, flashbacks aren't in black and white. That's
Very
interesting.
今回
fucking
1 話
safe
の
get
工程
back.
でかなり今ゲーム見てもらったら分かるんで
I
すけど
better
I'm wondering-
compare statements with the court record carefully.
I'm wondering if
僕と
Go on.
僕が普通
I'm wondering
は
if the I'm
依
wondering
頼
if
人
the
に信
um
用されて
if
お願いし
if
ます
some of the themes in this game are different to when whether you're playing as either Phoenix or Apollo.
弁護士
If you mean stuff like the symbols changing based on the strikes, yes, in fact.
ここからどうやってこう
And also the music. I mean, I know
Oh
about.
yes, oh yeah. Actually, yeah, stuff like the trial opening and certain investigation themes do actually change based on who you're playing as
So one
and
of the big
where.
things here is like normally in Ace Attorney, you know, even
And of
at
course,
the very least,
Apollo
your
has
defense-
his
you know, your client will
own
believe you,
objection
right?
theme,
They'll
and
be
Phoenix
nice
Wright
to
has
you,
his own
trust you,
objection
they'll be
theme.
like, please, you know, take care of
And
me.
Athena apparently has hers
But, like,
too.
so in this game, as you saw
So-
with Albie, he's like, you know, even he dislikes lawyers, and so it's
Yeah,
interesting
that
because,
is
you know,
weird how
this
even
time,
the
one of
defendants hate
new elements
lawyers.
is, well, how will Phoenix, you know, overcome that sort of hatred?
Wonder what the
not just from
villagers'
the people in the
motivation is.
gallery,
Did
not just
lawyers
from the
kill
people in
all
the
their
country, but also
kill
from his
all
own
their
client.
siblings
You know,
or
the fact that they can't
parents
trust
or
him,
something?
to defend
No,
him.
I don't
didn't
know.
they explain that?
今回のストーリーも
Actually, no. In the prologue, they just mentioned how the lawyers were wiped out. We don't know why yet. I'm guessing that's gonna be a big reveal.
Well, someone in the crowd says he's gonna alter the truth. I'm guessing it's again another story of corruption and meddling or stuff like
Didn't we
that.
already do this?
Probably.
This is in the last game.
And one of the
Although
big
this one seems to be
themes
based
of the
more around
story
an
is,
actual culture as opposed to, you know, just the
revolution
law
of the
getting
courtroom.
messed with.
So, you know, like, how does Phoenix
Or
play into
maybe
this
it
larger
was just
story of,
like
you know, changing the
Dr.
court
Doom
system
says to
in
Phoenix.
Kh'urain
In
so that
Latveria,
it's,
we don't have
you know,
lawyers,
you can
only
revive, or
corpses.
you can sort of have lawyers in it, as opposed to what it is now, where it's just purely like, you know, lawyerless, and basically it's the prosecutor and the divination seances.
Okay then. Darn. I just can't seem to get him to
まあ
open
最
up to
初
me.
は
What in the world happened in this country?
Phoenix, you need to get a grading psychology,
自分以外全部敵みたいなところか
apparently.
ら始まるので結構最初しんどいんですけど
ちゃんとこう
As
だ
I
んだん
suspected, this
盛り上がってくる
cross-examination session is served no purpose whatsoever.
どんどん逆転
Zero
して
of
どうな
10.
っていくかっていうのはね
Hey.
Unless we are with our benevolence in sight, there's no reason to doubt this
楽し
guilt.
みにしてほしいなと思います
Wow, this is totally some
Yeah,
one-sided.
this story definitely starts out with everyone being against
Wait,
Phoenix,
just one
literally
moment, Your
everyone.
Majesty?
You know, like
Oh.
everyone in the country, your own clients, the judge.
I haven't seen
you
this
know,
divination seance
So
yet.
we hope that you'll enjoy watching how Phoenix
Also,
kind
why
of
has that
goes through and changes
chain
people's
in his
minds,
pocket? Like, is he
you know,
having like
that
a
you see,
watch or something?
People begin
It's
to
a
trust
picture of his
lawyers
daughter
again.
in there.
And
Oh,
so that,
okay.
You know, how
I
the story
can't
develops
perform
basically along that theme
the
of
seance.
the
I'm
courtroom revolution.
tired.
Sure, you've been quiet for a bit.
She's
BRB.
Oh,
はいここから
あ
だから
新しい
レーファーがね
All right, here we go.
Alright, my
oh, the new mechanic,
And
which
here we
from
have
what
Ray
I've heard from impressions, is actually pretty
レーファ
fun.
ー
たたたたたたたたたた
まあ
There she is, her benevolence, and my apparent new rival.
見てもらったら
Barb-headed attorney.
Our bad.
すごい14
The hair jokes
若い
return.
んだけどやっぱりこう
I
姫さん
am told
威
to
厳がある
question the
喋り方
veracity of the sacred
なかなかこう
divination
男性
seance.
厳しい物言いを
Says he
するんです
thinks
けど
he's
ところ
whatever.
どころ可愛い
Rest assured, you will soon see the error of your foolish
要
ways.
注目ポイントです
Honey, there's a certain prosecutor for
So,
what who love
now
you
you
for
see
that.
Rayfa on the screen,
Yeah.
and she's basically she's, you know, a royal
Certainly.
princess, right?
Oh, sorry.
So she certainly
Dinah? What
has
the
a
hell?
very sort of,
Nine.
you know,
Is that the
elite
name of her
stance on
Yeah.
things, and she's
Oh,
very like
Yep.
commanding.
What the hell?
I like how
That's
I
cool.
like how
That, yeah, I
cool
like
these
that.
new 3D animations are.
It
You
is.
know,
She having
for a second-
campbells on
You
her
know,
wrist.
for all of
You
her
know, for a second there, I
you know,
thought,
being princess
for a second I
and, you know,
thought,
speaking very
what's she
formally and
named
all
at the
that.
robe?
There's still something really kind of cute about her. 'Cause she's still, you know, just a 14-year-old
Permit us
girl
to-
at heart.
Oh,
So,
she's
you know, we hope
14
you'll
years
be able to
old.
see that
Great.
she's
My
not
rivals
just,
keep
like,
getting younger.
this untouchable princess.
Again,
but
it's like
she's
that.
actually
It's like that
still
webcomic.
very much,
Eventually, your rival will be a
a
baby.
teenager
Not
as
pleased
well.
with you, Phoenix Wright.
まあ
Oh.
What
い
the
きなり
hell?
こういう
Okay, I have to say, they've really upped their game on the animation with
こ
this
の舞っていう
game.
舞い踊るシーンが入ってくるんでこれ体験版にはちょっと
Incense.
今回の体験版には入ってないですけどちゃんとゲーム
Song
Song, the ceremony, voice, voice.
So we're literally seeing the last moments before the victim's death.
踊ってもらう
Hello.
So,
Hey.
Oh, sure, you're just in time. New game
are
mechanic.
the words that are showing up what
So
he's
just now
feeling
you
at the
saw like
moment?
it jumped right into the
Oh,
into the pool.
I think they're about to
for the
talk about
divination
it.
seance. In the actual game, right before that happens, you actually get to see her doing this sort of summoning dance.
Nightmare did this
So she
20
has
years
a
ago,
dance to go
0
along
out of
with the
10.
divination seance to kind of summon the soul of the victim. And so actually that dance, we did motion capture with a dancer for that. And
Oh,
it's
so this
really,
game's motion
yeah,
capture
it's really
this time.
fantastic. It's really pretty and
That's
like
cool.
Mocap in a
dancers did a
3DS
really great job,
game. Huh.
you know, of,
Well, it's not the
putting
first
together
time
this
that
dance.
has happened with the...
Yeah, they even did that in Great Ace Attorney
レ
too.
バービジョン
It
ね
looks
一回
good
で
though,
これ
to
か
be
ら
fair.
チュートリアルが
Not just that, but
absolutely.
with
So this
Drova.
is gonna-
Even like,
you're
for
basically gonna
example,
see the
Monster
tutorial for
Hunter
the,
has always been
animation
more
dance here.
capped.
Right.
Plenty.
I guess for the 3DS era, the suspense theme stays the same.
I was hoping to get a little bit more
The
information,
souls
like
of the departed
insight
speak
into
only the
different
truth,
seance, so,
and I but give
like what
their
inspired
messages a
having
voice.
Kind of the five senses.
Behold,
music
as
parts
I
like that, like,
throw more pretentious dialogue at you!
kind of the team came to that conclusion to use that as like a new mechanic. It's really interesting. It really fits in with the
No, go
the
friends!
spiritual aspect of this game.
Rafa's insight.
Utagene.
The accused swung whatever he was holding down on the victim's head. With the pain, the victim's vision went dark.
霊媒をテーマにした
Still, I can't believe it. Murder after the morning dance of devotion. Whatever the hell that is, wait for the final game.
というところで
Okay, I've got the
なかなか覆いそうに
If,
ない
if it turns out that this whole village was just faking the whole mystical shit and just killed lawyers because they hate them,
被害者の証言
and then it's official, this series has officially become Professor Layton.
I'm pretty sure it's not
come on.
gonna be that at all.
I'm sure they won't do that. I mean, make a whole religion, culture, not to mention it's Kh'urain of all things.
What they'll probably
related.
do, Dwebs, is basically this will basically probably Rafa's lying on purpose for the sake of some hidden motive because of her backstory. It's probably something along those lines.
瞬間みたいなものをユーザー自身
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that they are not spirit mediums because we know that they exist in this series. It's just they're probably
Because if she was
corrupt in
legit,
this area somehow.
if she was a legit
Oh,
fortune,
tutorial speech.
それ
Okay.
と彼女の解釈との矛盾を見つけていくっていうのがレバービジョンになってる
So this time
Come
we
to
wanted
think
to
of it,
really
I
put
did see
Phoenix in a
words
corner,
like
basically.
Song
Give
of
him something
Summer,
that he
Incense.
will have a very difficult time.
No, I'm not
breaking
going to make
down,
the
right? 'Cause it's like, when you think about
higher
it, if
word
this
joke.
is the memory of somebody who died.
The
There's
victim's
nothing
final
you can really
memories
do
are not
about it,
limited
right?
to
It's
sights
like,
alone.
How can you pick apart something that seems so absolute?
Sight,
right? This is what the
smell,
person saw.
taste,
So,
sound,
you know,
touch,
and so
all
in
is
that
laid
sense,
bare in the
because that
pool
was
of
kind of
souls.
the idea of how they
So what Mr.
wanted
Roll
to,
experienced with his five senses appears in the vision as words,
pressure,
right?
put pressure on
Yes,
Phoenix.
how
They were like,
convenient
okay,
for
well,
you,
if
isn't
you're
it?
gonna have like the memories of
And
the
by
dead,
examining
what would
these
you need with that?
sensations,
And so it's not just the
we can
the sight, right? Not just
perceive the
vision.
victim's final
We also
moments
have
with
to have, like, the
unparalleled
other-
clarity.
the other
Gee, my
portions,
fortune
you know,
telling is
smell,
fucked up, isn't it?
touch, all of those.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, so his vision shows what the
other
victim was
senses are
experiencing
represented
with
through
his five
letters. So
senses.
you
And
saw,
Phoenix
like,
is here to
incense, for
translate as
example, or Song of
pretentious
Ceremony
talk
and things like that.
translator.
And so those are representative of the other senses.
Our benevolence
smell,
said,
and,
after the
hearing,
morning, the
for
dance of
example.
devotion. Isn't there something off
so-
about that? So, let's see this in action.
So yeah, as you can see.
I'll use the arrows
so
or
through
the
this,
circle
it's
pad.
basically like, how does Phoenix, try to
Sinister.
break down the insight? Well, he listens to what Rafa says, right? Because she is interpreting this vision. So basically,
Oh, so maybe she just
as you can
sucks
see
at
right
it.
now, what Rafa has said,
what are the
this
things
is her
more in the
interpretation of
lower
the
screen?
events based on this
Those are the
memory
amount of
dead
strikes
person.
you have,
And
apparently.
so Phoenix
Oh,
can find a
okay.
contradiction between the
This
interpretation
is going on
and
during the
actual,
song.
experience of the
Oh,
dead.
that's actually something new. During stuff like the moon matrix, you didn't get
で
strikes.
矛盾している感覚を選んで
そう今のレーファの作戦をまず怪しそうなやつを
Oh, I see. So you use your visual senses and get an idea of what doesn't
感覚
match.
もこうやって
No, no, it's the song of ceremony. Don't tip it wrong.
嗅覚っていう形でこう
Okay,
やることが
what if Yamazaki
So
got this
first you
wrong?
saw, like,
He's kind of he'd be
basically,
messing up on his own game.
You pick the insight that you think is wrong. So like this
Oh,
doesn't
it says
sound right, this
objection.
doesn't seem to line up with
Yeah.
what is in the vision. So you pick that, and then you can choose from the other senses. So like sound, vision,
Oh,
smell,
man.
and then
New 3DS, now with smell-o-vision.
Phoenix here is saying that these things are after it. So it's like that's true.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. The guy should have been hearing the song of ceremony. Or
まあ最初の
Oh
レーバ
boy,
ービジ
you're
ョン
absolutely
のチュートリアル
right.
がすごくシンプルで
Right.
Oh,
それがだんだんストーリーが進んでいくと
That's enough.
ちょっとこう
Is that all that troubles you?
Well, gee.
So that will be my cry, that's enough. Interesting. What the victim heard was just a practice run to the Song of Ceremony.
Sorry about that.
Practice run? What are you
So
talking
right now
about?
it
Come
seems kind
on.
of easy, perhaps, because it's the tutorial, right? You know, it's
Mr.
obvious
Payne,
what's wrong or
if you
what's
would.
Contradictory. But you know, as you progress through the game, the puzzles, these divination stands just do get more and more difficult. So you start getting things like, you know, do the letters start getting bigger, or like, you know, where is it positioned and things like that. And so you get like more complex puzzles to solve in that sense. So even though it looks easy right now, that's just because this is the tutorial, right?
She doesn't have to present any evidence. Nah, she could just tell you that she saw it because she's a
Well,
video.
I guess sure, in this kind of context it makes more sense than ever. I mean, I'm still surprised they allowed Phoenix to actually be an attorney at all, considering their policy.
Apparently the stakes are
maybe
high.
because he's a foreigner, I guess. They're being a little lenient, or maybe they're just toying with him.
Apparently, from what I can understand, the stakes seem to be that, oh, you can be a lawyer all just fine, but no, that failure is met with death.
If I were of this mindset
So as you saw right
and
now,
I was in
one of the
charge of
things
this
that
village,
happens
I'd
is
just
that,
have
you know,
Phoenix
as
shot
you point out
on
these
site.
inconsistencies in Rayfa's
Well,
instance,
actually, what?
she'll update
I
her
can imagine now, he
interpretation.
walks in,
And then
No,
Hey,
Dibs,
no.
he goes like, hey, do you need any help?
she might also update the vision because she'll like focus a
From
little
what I
bit
can
more to be
gather,
like,
apparently
oh,
the
wait,
gist is
maybe
that Phoenix
wasn't
is
okay, let
allowed
me
to
try focus
technically be the
again,
kid's
right?
lawyer.
And so then that may actually even update the vision itself.
you guys over?
映像の方は今もやってますけど、一時停止をしてる
Also, a flaw in this is that you can't hear what's being
早
said.
送りもできるので、早送り巻き戻しもできるので、好きなところ
Well,
か
you
ら
You can see things going on, but you can't hear the
game does
conversation.
and drama drop.
はい。
映像を飛ばすことができるので
So it turns out so unlike what he said, it's not just my calls where he drops. Ha. Now we have proof.
Yeah, I am.
好きなタイミング
So yeah, I declare I am in charge now. I am taking over. Hostile takeover.
In terms of,
But
you know,
Wibbs, I'm
visual
second in
interface,
command,
one of the
remember?
things we
If
found is
anything, I should be
we
the
made
one
it so that
taking
you can
over.
Pause the video whenever you
Well,
need to.
too late,
You still
I've,
after you drop,
time to
but Joe was
think.
All
dropped.
these people
You
with
can also
Ari.
jump around between
Well,
the
too late,
scenes.
I've
There's, like,
already,
5 panels on the
Anyway,
bottom, also on the touch
I've
screen
already
there.
claimed my
And
rights.
you
So
can just
Pedro, you're
touch
fired.
whichever
Anyway, continuing what I was
scene you wanna
saying,
jump to instead
yeah,
of having to wait
my
for
guess
entire
right now
thing
is
to
that
start.
she's
try to
full of
make the
shit
experience as
and
easy
has
as
something to do with
possible.
like some traumatic incident that happened to her with some
Yeah, like I
lawyer.
said,
That's my
she
guess right
probably
now.
is the spirit medium, but she's probably corrupt somehow.
And this
Yeah.
whole
Because of
thing,
something.
and this whole thing is actually
Because
like a
if
security
this,
camera.
because if this was because if this method of
We're failing
you
on
know
purpose here.
finding out the truth was legit, then the whole series
You can
probably
see what it
shouldn't
looks like
even
when we
happen
fail, but
because
yeah.
logically this would just be used in every court in the world.
とかないとね。
Either that or this stuff all is real. It's either though, like you said, she's either manipulating it to her own whim, or they just never think to give it a closer glance.
Yeah, or maybe they, as a community, they want to feel to stay hidden in their own village and not to expose themselves to the world in general. You know, conservatism and stuff like that.
On page
I mean,
three,
you know what's
they don't
funny?
use
This is part of our
polygraph
effort to make it
slash lie
user-friendly,
detectors in
and, you know,
actual
everyone,
courtrooms because they're
I'm sure is very
invalid.
busy.
Yeah.
So, for example,
You know,
like, if
it's
you
funny
play a game over at
discussing
this
what
point,
may
right,
happen in
like,
the
you
next
made a
turn of game when we
mistake, you
all
lose
of
one
us
the,
don't even know
big
what's
time
going to
marks.
happen yet. I mean, heck,
So,
for all we
when
know,
you
they
lose
could
them
be
all, obviously
throwing
the
us
game is
off for
over.
an incredible
But, we
180
made it
of a
so that,
twist.
if you fail at a
But
particular point,
seriously,
when you
I'm
restart,
wondering
it
that
starts almost right exactly, you know, just
that
pick right
whole
back up.
pool
So
thing
you don't
is
have to
just
like
a
play through
security
a whole bunch
camera or
of stuff
something.
before it and get to the point where you were at.
No, come on, Vips, that
今
would
回
be
ポイン
too
トとして
obvious.
はもし尋問
I mean,
想
that
定パー
shit
ト
has been done in the
2回
village.
間違えたら
And it turns out that the guy in charge of this whole thing was actually Takeshi Yamazaki. He puts himself in the game.
Well,
Dwebs,
Or maybe it's a case of her not showing us the full vision.
Dwebs, you're mistaking Takeshi Yamazaki for Motomo Toriyama. This is not. Well, you get my point.
Another thing we have is
To
that
be fair,
once you
Yamazaki
make a
technically
mistake
did kind of
twice,
cameo as the
in
victim in the first case of Ace Attorney Investigations
like,
1
we
since the
have this
character
in,
was
Dual
based
Destinies
off
as
of
well.
him.
There's a little
Visually.
consult button that comes up, and so you know. If you press the consult button, then the
Oh
characters will
yeah,
give
the
you a hint,
consult
like, you know,
button.
little dialogue,
Apparently
and
you
they'll
have
give
an
you a
option to
hint
toggle
as to
that
how to
on
clear
or
the puzzle.
off.
But this time around, you know, if you want to just go through the game without any hints at all, you can even turn that off.
Yeah, but Jova, remember, even if that's in the game,
you're really
the
hardcore and you don't want any hints at all, just go to the options settings and turn it off. But you know,
angry.
if you would like a hint,
surprisingly, a lot of fans have actually reacted happily to this. It's like, well, it's there if you want to,
so now we're gonna go to the right
wanting
answer.
to. Me, I might keep it on, but only because I like to sometimes see the dialogue.
あと今回オプションがもう
You're
一つあって
saying the victim's field of vision went dark right after he was struck, correct?
いわゆるその1回読んだメッセージだけ送ったりではなく初めから全部こうテンプレートを送ることができるオプションも入ってるんでユーザーの好き
Well,
な
pardon me, but I must disagree!
So another thing that we've also included in the options,
Is that
again,
the
this
tell
is
the truth
all
theme?
just to make it user-friendly,
No,
right?
it's the objection
Like,
theme.
Up until now, we've always had it so that you
Your
can't
benevolence?
skip the
Please
text.
take another
You
look
know,
at
like
the
you have
exact
to
moment
play
the
through it
victim
once
felt
or
pain.
see it once before then you can press A to skip, right? Now,
And at this
you can skip
moment,
text from the very
she
beginning.
should be
So
tossed
one of the
out of
options
here.
is that, you know,
And then
if you just
only
wanna
after
display all the
that,
text
the victim
instantaneously,
feels
just turn
pain.
on the
Seriously,
text skip.
we rely on her so
Inconceivable.
much.
Go through all of it.
Yes,
You don't have to wait
this
for the
places the order of events at odds with what you say
wait
happened.
for all the text to display.
What the fuck is
I do
that?
feel like if you did that, you
Yeah,
probably
we
just
said
like
before,
animations and the
my aid canon is that
that
their
little book noise and all the
I
writing.
their
cannot
way
be
to
wrong.
saying
I do that
My
in
insights are
RPG,
beyond
I end
fallacy.
up skipping dialogue I want to read otherwise. So.
And the plot
I do
should
think
be
there's gonna be a feature
okay. The
that
plot
allows
should
you
be
to,
over
like, scroll
here.
back,
They just
right?
prove that she's inconsistent, even though she clearly says all the time that she's right always.
Well, the judge himself is pointing
That's
it out
fair,
now.
yeah.
All right, I crushed that insight.
She should be tossed out of here.
You are a
Animations,
shitty
Would
fortune
there be,
teller.
are they
You
able
know
to shed
that?
any light on
Even if I have to fight every person in this country, huh?
Kind of the interesting thing
I
is,
swear,
is,
I'll get out of the acquitted of
animations
this
here may not necessarily
crime.
be cute the
Phoenix
same
Wright
way they
versus
would
the
be in,
world.
In the main cave!
I was wondering if maybe they could shed a little bit of light on how they
Quick
kind of come
question.
up with
Yeah,
Um,
you feel that.
how they
Actually,
translate
not
it
even a
to 3D
question.
from like the
Like,
original 2D
Phoenix
models.
is dealing with a society that has lived this way for so long that by the
Or-
end of the game, the
Or
society's
if we
going
could
to
also,
crumble
like,
because
maybe-
he's just going
oh,
to
this is
single-handedly
possible right now, but if we
destroy
could
their
talk about,
ideals.
Yeah.
Even just about
This should be
how those
interesting.
animations are set so that
Yeah,
they trigger
agree.
at like certain times or so that they play
For
out along with
evaluation
text.
purposes only.
The programming
So, guys,
Yeah.
we've evaluated it.
Yeah, this is probably going to be the same demo that's going to be released on the eShop.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah, and apparently they only
Oh,
showed.
I see.
I hope they only showed snippets of that demo.
But,
Well,
but yeah, seriously though, that's kind of my biggest issue with the game. Braver keeps going on and on and on about how things are always right,
Twibs.
and yet
It's
proven that it's
pretty
So-
obvious.
You're
That's the whole
only
idea.
started
That
to complain about this after we dealt with two Von Karma's Dwibs.
yeah, Dwibs. It's pretty obvious at this point that she's full of. She has an agenda. She's clearly making this wrong on purpose. Clearly.
Let me guess, her parents were murdered and she's acting out against everyone else.
Well,
And
not
a
only
lawyer
that,
for
Dwibs, not only that, Dwibs, but like, well, considering how long the town has lived on this forethought, I can see why she'd be a bit arrogant if she's, apparently always been
送る
right.
スピードまで
そうですね
全部調整で
送る文字の出るスピードもそうですし文字と文字の間のウェイトもそうです
You know one thing I wish for in the future?
作られています。
When the future comes, I wish there was like
we basically have
a device
scripting
where a
system that we
person can
use for
speak
this
in their
game,
native
and
language
it's
by
kind of
themselves,
been used
and yet
for,
everyone else will hear it in their
series. But, I mean, it's
language.
kind of, it's
You mean
evolved
an
over
actual
time.
translator,
But,
instant
Yeah.
translator?
The
Like
scripting
it's like
system
with
allows
it's
us
like
really
with
great
it's like with the
control over
Doctor in
everything
Doctor
from,
Who,
how
where apparently
fast the text displays to, like,
he
the
is
wait times
a
between
link
certain-
with
like,
the
if you wanted
TARDIS that
a
translates
pause
things to
between
people,
this
even though
word
he's
and
been
this
unconscious
word,
in the past, and
we
people
can
can
have it
still
also
hear
be
alien
like,
languages
we want this
perfectly.
character animation to take place in 5 frames, or we want this character animation to happen after a small pause, so it's really, really like flexible in the sense that we can do anything we want with it. And so that's just how it's a very programming level thing. And so the programmers, and then we have some game planners, they'll talk with the scenario writers and the director, and they'll kind of work through every scene and kind of be like, okay, this is the kind of
wonder how they're
direction that we wanted to take. We want this kind of animation, this kind of
I wonder how they're actually going to build up
dramatic
to
presentation, things
courtroom
like that.
war
And
at
so
the
then they're
end.
able to create that through
Well, I guess we'll just have to
scripting
wait and
system we have
see.
for this game.
From what I've heard of people who played the Japanese version, and no, I have not spoiled my stuff myself. From what I've heard of people who played it, there seems to actually be a nice build-up where everything comes together at the end.
Someone dies and
everyone dies.
And then particularly for this game,
honestly, you can tell from the whole spirit medium thing that they have going on here that that's not going to be a 1 or 2 case plot. That's going to be an overarching thing because this is a big deal in this country.
That reminds me,
it cannot be resolved in a single case.
I guess I have to do this again.
Okay, go on, Pedro.
I guess I have to do this again. No, Teo, this is not the House MD. For those who don't know, the final episode of House MD literally is called Everybody Dies.
Angles, I think that this time that you didn't see in any
what?
previous games.
I'm not spoiling anything.
But yeah, from what I've heard, actually, apparently the final case of Ace Attorney 6 is the new longest case.
I'm sorry. I'm just reading a post that I think Jova made on SSMB about some of Yamazaki's original ideas for Dual Destinies. One of them was a court in outer space.
So
really?
Yes,
how does the team decide what goes into the demo in particular?
We'll get that game eventually.
How do they come up with like that kind of slice of the game
outer
for
space.
something like Ace Attorney?
Oh, Adwib, show him the concept art that was in there. I think sure hasn't seen it yet.
Maybe I haven't seen it. I didn't know that was a plan. Maybe there was a murder on Mars or some shit.
But yeah, from what I've heard, guys, Ace Attorney 6's final trial is apparently the new longest case of the series.
Let me guess it.
Well, if the game overall is good, then I'll be happy with that.
Apparently, and again, this is without spoiling because I am not touching any spoilers. I don't want to be spoiled. But from what I hear, apparently it's two different trials going on at the same time in the final case or something like that. 2 trials and apparently a lot of victims.
I wonder if Apollo
basically it's going to be Phoenix and Maya here on Kh'urain and Apollo and Athena back in
and then we usually try to show off
Japan,
whatever new games
or Japan America.
For example, we saw the divination seance.
I wonder if there's a connection
in addition to that,
and all this.
We wanted
kind
to
of like
probably since Phoenix and Apollo eventually face off.
Usually, if you
it's kind of like how in Yokai Watch 3 we have 2 main campaigns, one in each side of the
world,
world, except they're separate instead of together.
Content where they talk about certain details, and so what we do is we try to compact the story a little bit so that it's more self-contained and that it's bite-sized enough.
And also, isn't Maya's home village called the Kh'urain village?
Without it being like.
Well, this is apparently the Kh'urain kingdom, and they're
exactly. So there's probably some kind of a connection. I mean, if Maya's family were such great spirit mediums, then why did they
refugees exiled?
So this was touched on a little bit already during the demo. I was wondering if we could just go into the court system a little bit more in Kh'urain.
That would be interesting.
Kind of explain.
I reckon there was like a coup in the village, and
it's called the
now
Court of Resignation,
now
as
it's
it
kind
were.
of become
I was
like the
wondering if you could get a little
Nazi
more information
party.
on like on just how those
I'm
court,
kind of
how the court
hoping they
system works
integrate
there, and like
them
how
both
maybe if
together
you could
now,
talk a little bit more about how that
I mean,
how that
it
came to
would
happen.
be a missed opportunity if they didn't.
You know, I can imagine it now. There's like a. Oh my god, you just got me imagining now. There's gonna be like a. It's gonna be like a. You know that song "Springtime for Hitler." In this world, to mock stuff, to mock this place in the future, they'll probably rename it "Springtime for Rafer" or something.
Unless Rafe turns out to. Well, from what I've heard, they want to make Rafe something of a heroine, but also make her Phoenix's enemy. I have no idea how that's supposed to work, but that's what the official statements have been saying.
Well, she's a hero to this village.
Ah, yeah.
To Phoenix, she's a bit of an eyesore.
So, kind of like Undyne. She's a hero, but she'll kill you.
Yeah,
pretty much the same thing with Rafe. She'll
it's like, she'll be your friend, but she'll spend 15 minutes trying to murder you.
そうなった理由は昔クライン王国って弁護士がいたらしいんですけど、何かの事件をきっかけに弁護士がもう一掃されてしまった。
そうですね。ちょっとあることがあって、
そういう昔の歴史があって、そこからもずっと
They mentioned Gaikuten Kenji. GK2 confirmed for official localization.
だから国民たちが全員弁護士を嫌い。
Actually, I've read in an interview they talked about this in this specific interview, and they said that There have been problems all the way from the start
as
in
you
order
saw,
to
you know,
localize
like the
itself.
court is basically all about the divination
Yeah.
So, a little backstory about the Kingdom of Kh'urain is that this is a country, obviously, it's deeply spiritual, and they believe in, you know, communicating with the dead, and they believe in
Oh god, all the
channeling
possibilities that are
spirits.
going
In
through
fact,
my
the
mind
queen
about
of the
what
country,
the
she actually is the master channeler, right? So, like, this is a
what the
country full of
game's
people
gonna,
who believe
how the
in
game's
that,
gonna be
sort
resolved,
of,
and all the twists and
mysticism.
turns are gonna be.
And so
I
you get
now
things
know what
like
it's
the
like to
Divination
have to
Dance
wait
where,
for a main series Ace Attorney game, because when I became an Ace Attorney fan, all 5 games...
So it's very easy to see, like,
don't know
okay,
what the,
well,
no. I
we
don't
know
think
who
the
did it
crossover
because
was
it's
over
obviously
on
the person
America
in the
yet, but it
vision,
was
right?
pretty
It's
much
like,
coming.
who else is going to be?
And that was in 2014 when I became an Ace
then
Attorney fan,
obviously
but
that
yeah,
person,
I pretty much had all the
gets
mainline
convicted
games
and
and
found
Ace Attorney
guilty.
Investigations 1 all set
That's
to
it.
play.
There's no lawyers, right? There's nobody who's going to, like, be like,
And now I have to
you can't
wait
be
and
this person
avoid
because,
spoiler
like, well,
after
it's right in front of you.
spoiler.
So,
Oh yeah, speaking of
that's how the
speaking of
court works
games,
now. Now, in the
sometimes I
past,
have
what
a
happened
habit
was that
of
there
playing
was
a
some
game
sort
for
of
a
incident,
bit,
some sort of,
not touching it for quite a while, and then coming back to it and finishing it off.
If it's like an RPG or something, like most Japanese games have journals for that specific purpose. Like even Layton has one.
Besides, if the game is yours, it's your right to do whatever the fuck you want with it.
It was like that with the crossover even.
Well, again, Dwebs, that's what Layton's journal is for.
I played a bit of it. 2014. Then I stopped for a while, and then I completed it last year.
Well,
that was kind of the similar case with me and Ghost Trick. I started in 2015. Wasn't quite getting that dragged into it. Then eventually came back to in 2016 to help stave off the wait, and whoa.
Really?
I haven't touched Superstar Saga in
Really? I was dragged into it from minute 1 because it's such an awesome concept.
In the end, it's like, well,
I recall that
Ghost
Ghost Trick.
Right? You can find all the evidence.
I was definitely dragged into it from the
Shitakumi's
start.
best game.
Due diligence.
Yeah.
But
I was definitely dragged into it from the start, but for some reason or another, I
ruling
sort
for
of
the
dropped
defendant,
it
or
off
the
for
accused,
a
as we call them,
bit.
in English.
Basically,
there may have been another
it's the
game
second.
I was interested in.
If you ask me, Shiro, it's the Nintendo DS's second best game, right after World Ends With You, in my eyes.
I think I'm pretty much all out of questions.
What
here.
was that for me free about it possibly getting a sequel?
Oh, that's because there was
The World Ends With You
no
or
more.
Ghost
The World Ends With You.
Well, Nomura, who's the creative producer and the character designer of the series, he said that as of right now, unfortunately, the conditions for making that sequel are not met. But they know that the fans wanted to, and basically to sum up, he's saying, "We'll see what we can do. We hear you. We'll see what we can do."
Objection.
The problem is that the first game didn't really sell. You know how. Estelle can confirm. The problem is that the original DS game didn't even hit 1 million units, and Estelle can confirm for me, Square always has unrealistic expectations in terms of sales. So sadly, it's very hard for Nomura to convince the hierarchs of this shit.
Everybody, we're going to be back tomorrow.
We get a sequel, but it's Japan only.
Stream's going to be at 10 a.m. I believe.
Square, it's a DS game. Those sales are good for a DS game. Not everything has to sell 10 million units.
Thank you for watching.
I forgot about...
It was the same thing with Tomb Raider, the original the Tomb Raider.
The crowning achievement of this was the
looking
Tomb
forward
Raider
to hearing from you.
reboot. Square Enix expecting
And
something like 7, 8
look forward to that
million
tomorrow.
units worldwide.
It's the same thing with Final Fantasy 14. They wanted that shit to sell 10 million units.
Thank you.
You know, it's stuff like this that amazes me that Dual Destinies actually managed to exceed Capcom's sales expectations of all things.
And Pedro, remember that little joke that we had on one of my statuses earlier?
Yes.
What if the game sold what if the target was 10 million, but it actually sold like 9,999,000?
Oh well, franchise dead. Oh well, we had a nice run.
But it only underperformed by one game.
Sorry, rules are rules. Anyway, that was
So yeah, guys, that was day 1. Day 2
that was pretty awesome. That was pretty awesome.
Yeah, overall thoughts, guys?
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was okay.
Jirai?
It was an okay showcase, but the game looks pretty good. Although we have seen most of what was shown, so...
Yeah, I think the real action... I think the real... Well, we haven't seen... Oh, yeah, true, good point. But yeah, I guess we'll see the real action when... Probably not in day 2, since that's mainly Q&A.
Pretty much most of the footage we've seen of this game has been of this case, so...
Yeah, from what I hear, they're saving all those cool 3D animations for stuff like the demo and the main game. So
yeah, we know there are going to be animated sequences in the middle of the trials, and we have seen them. So
yeah, audience, tune in for when we do day 2 of the Ace Attorney stream.
See you then.
Yep.
See ya.